Kia ora, dear listener or viewer, and welcome back to Zealand. Fair warning, Zealand is set within a post-apocalyptic world, and so we will be exploring some of the darker natures of humanity. If you are squeamish or the idea unsettles you, please take your chance now to walk away. For now, we return to Zealand.
Kia ora, Legionnaires, Rycon here, and welcome back to Zealand. This is our final part of Chapter 6. And in the last, well, there was some planning, there was some replanning, and now there's a bus rolling down the hill. I know as much as you do, so we're in the same position, but Verdant and Richard are currently up on the lookout, on top of the bunker, high up, gazing over this area, and just witnessed something rolling down the hill. Something very bus-shaped, moving like a bus. Some might even suspect it is a bus.
Zombie no bus.
So, I'm sure mine and Dan's, day will be, rudely interrupted upon finding this out.
What are the wheels doing on this bus?
Maybe we'll find out. Skulk, what's happening?
They're not wheels, they're zombies.
Yeah. Zombies on the bus go up and down. Right, so...
Brains.
Alright, so you see the bus crest the hill and then roll and jump and judder its way across the uneven terrain, seeming just to move under the power of gravity, and it comes to rest at the bottom.
As soon as I see that, I'm going to click on the
I think we
radio.
both do at the same time.
Yeah, you go,
There's a bus.
there's a bus.
A bus?
A bus rolling down the hill.
But Dan, I think we need to get inside real quick now.
What?
I want to see what the bus does.
I don't know, it's pretty close. We should probably
Alright,
get
so...
inside.
I'm
guessing you're still looking at it.
Is this the hill they usually travel, or is this a closer?
Yeah, no, that's the hill you travel. So they're like still a good 8-ish, 9-ish. I'd never checked the distance case travel the way.
We don't have magical rulers or rangefinders, so yeah.
There, you can own, like, with even the naked eye, like, is that a bloody bus over there? That's how far away they are. But through the telescope, and even through scopes, you can get a fairly good view of the bus. It is been boarded over with corrugated sheet metal and plywood and things. So you can't actually see into the bus, even most of the bus on the outside, like on the side of the wheels, even, like they were like patched up with like just corrugated iron that now has just hit every single rock on the way over this uneven terrain. And as you're deciding whether should you stay or should you go, the top hatch, like the but you open it for a bit of air, pops open and out climbs someone dressed in just like browns and blacks with like a big brown parka over, and immediately raises a rifle not to you, from behind where they came from. And as you move your scopes back up to the top of the hill, you can see quite a few things following the bus coming down. And just like in a few seconds you watch, you can at least see like 20-30 shamblers just cresting the hill, coming up. And this guy starts setting fire. And you hear...
Jeez, thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, well.
I radio through to Scott. So I think it looks like we got someone alive inside the bus, and they're just shooting at what looks like a lot of zombies coming our way.
Count about 30.
Is the bus moving?
Not anymore.
Roll a perception check, because like gunshots you can hear easy. Just roll perception plus 10.
62 for
5 success.
yeah.
Very faintly, you think you can hear a stuttering engine trying to start.
Good.
Okay, cool. I'm going to look at the. I'm gonna look at the guy on top of the bus through the telescope to see if I can discern anything out of it.
He is a big bloke, but he's got like a hood on over like brown and black clothing, like brick brown parka type, poncho type thing. And he is just like firing away. It doesn't take, like within like a couple of seconds, and a smaller bloke gets up as well, also dressed like in a big hooded clothing, covered in what seems to be mud and even like some twigs and things, and like his coat. And he as well, he's just got a pistol and he's just firing up at like what is now like, it was 30, it's already now like 40, 50 shamblers pressing
I'm going to call through very quickly. I'm going to say, Vidant, do you have sight on these people?
I do.
Okay. We need to be sure. Flick to our frequency. Make sure it's not Jake and Nick.
Okay. I flick to our frequency. Is there anything coming back?
I mean, they're shooting their guns at the moment.
Well, yeah, no,
We can
Jump on comms and
yeah,
check.
flick to our frequency and,
It's just more easy.
and radio through and go. Nick, Jake, is that you?
You hear back a very garbled, very staticky things going.
Oh shit. Okay. Ready to back down to them? Then.
And you would hear it like you went to comms, you heard it. It sounds eerily similar to that message a couple of weeks ago.
Okay. And that's on our frequency then.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. These don't look like just from looking at them and the telescope, do they look like Nick and Jake?
Roll intuition plus 20. You can as well.
Okay. I'm just trying to see if I can pick up a better
32 success.
11 pass.
You're not 100% sure, but if not, they're making some very good impressions of being Nick and Jake. The size difference, at least, between the two of them, are like, yeah, that looks like from behind. That looks like that's like the size.
Yeah, that might be better. We might need to help out.
That's a lot of zombies.
That's a
We're
lot
gonna
of
have to think
zombies.
fast.
Yeah. How many have they taken down so far?
Only a few.
And there's more coming?
There's like, it's now almost looks like a continuous stream of both human and animal shamblers. Like you see what seems to be like a dead pig making its way across. You see like a couple of sheep, even like half of a cow that's just dragging by its four limbs across it.
I'll go over towards the main comm thing where Dan is, and I'll kind of go over and I'll press on the talk and I'll say, if that's you, take them to the field.
You hear back once again, very garbled, very static. It does the cadence of the static sound like someone is talking through it.
Right.
But you can, not even this time you can make out what is being said across. But they are definitely like looks like they are responding. If you're both upstairs still in the same frequency, you hear Rycon say this. You do not see the people on what you presume to be Nick and Jake respond. So whoever is talking is not Nick and Jake, not the people on top of the men on top of the bus.
I'll flick back to just the frequency for this place, so that I'm only talking to these guys. If that was talking, the guys on top of the bus are not doing that. So,
There's guys. There's more than one.
well, yeah, two. They seem like they could be Nick and Jake.
Means they've found other people at least.
If their hands are full, they're not going to be talking.
Yep, but whatever came through on that frequency sounded like it was talking.
Okay. As the undead shambles are about like halfway down the hill, the door to the bus opens up, the front door at the at the driver's side. Since it come down, it's on your side-ish, and you see what seems to be maybe 2, maybe 3 dozen people, almost collapse out of that bus, running, carrying, like if some of them have bags, some of them are carrying like children, and they spill out of the bus.
Okay.
Some of them with weapons, and they're shooting back.
Okay.
Other ones just start streaming towards where the pit fields are.
Okay.
And the guys on top of the bus climb down, and it would seem to be about maybe 4, maybe 5 others just like walk backwards, keep shooting.
Okay, I'm going to tell Rich. So I'm going to tell you cover the people who just come out. I'll keep an eye out on Nick and Jake, and if anything gets close, I'll take it down.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not in range. My gun.
Shit. Okay.
I barely think you would be at that distance.
Yeah.
We need to get these people inside the container.
Yep, we do need to get them inside the container. You coordinate that. I will keep an eye out and take out anything that gets too close to them. So I'm now going to keep an eye out on.
Are you communicating that down?
No, that's what I was going to say. I need update what's going on.
I say, Scott, can you try and call for all these people and tell us to start heading towards our general direction or something, or whatever. I mean, towards the ocean from their point of view, or I could even let off a shot.
I'm going to look out into that direction. Now aiming through my scope, not looking through the telescope anymore. Through the scope of my gun, and I'm going to keep an eye out for any stragglers that get close enough, like close to.
Of humans or zombies?
The zombies. Any zombies that get close enough to these guys where they might start to effectively gain on them. My plan is to take a shot at a zombie only if they're getting dangerously close to these people.
Okay. It is an so that's okay. So we'll say that's what you're doing. What are you doing, Richard?
Well, I'm probably gonna start running
downhill.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're wanting to meet up with them essentially.
Basically, that's what I'd radio through. Should I try and get these people attention to try and get them towards us? There are traps out there and stuff. So hopefully, most of the zombies, I don't know, but if it's Jake and Nick, they'll know where those things are.
If there's people, you're going to have to warn them about the traps, or they're going to walk right into.
That's what I mean. If two of them are Jake and Nick, then I would have obviously told these people, hopefully, but I'm going to have to run and warn them just in case.
I'm flicking over to the Jake and Nick frequency, and just so I've gone down prone, gun in front of me. Did we fashion a bipod for it? No.
Oh, you could have over
on the boat.
Yeah.
It's on the boat, but I mean, like, it's been a month. A small bipod this high off the ground, go for gold.
We find.
I would set up my gun in position to shoot it, and I'm on there. I've got the radio next to me. I've flipped it over to the Nick and Jake frequency, and I will radio through to them, saying if this is Jake and Nick, give us some sort of a sign.
Okay. You see Jake and Nick, what you presume to be them, with the people, still backing away, firing. You see the big fellow, what you presume to be Jake, turn back and look at someone in the group, and you stand still, and then he looks up to exactly where you are, and he just waves.
And I will wave back, and then I will tell Richard that's Jake and Nick, so they're gonna know where the traps are. We stay up here. We don't need to get any closer, because there's nothing you can do by going out there that they can't already do. So keep an eye out. I'm trusting Jake and Nick will be able to lead the people through our traps. If anything gets dangerously close, I'll take it out.
What's going on up there?
And then I go back into my. Now I'm just aiming.
Okay.
Someone update us. What's going on?
Okay. I'll rather than just me saying it saying it. So it's the slowest chase scene in history.
Yeah.
A lot of the zombies have made some ground early on by just falling down the hill rather than walking down the hill.
Yep.
And the people in the group, you can see they're extremely tired. They are almost as shambling as much as the zombies are. They're also carrying quite a lot of crap on them, trying to get kids and what you presume to be some elderly or maybe some injured along with them. And of course there's the rear guard of Nick, Jake and 4 other people just keep firing, although some of them have presumed to be out of ammo and have run back to join the group. It takes absolutely ages. There's a good few kilometers they have to cross, and the horde just keeps coming. It doesn't stop. If you look up and just keep following the ridge, even now from the north all the way through to almost exactly east now, it's just coming over human and animal.
If I haven't heard anything else, I'm getting my gamson on.
So I presume they're narrating this down to you as well.
I mean, I
hope
think.
they are.
I mean,
They'll just
we
say, like-
don't know that it's Nick and Jake yet.
Oh, we'll say that they would have said. That's what I'm saying.
The second that I heard it was Nick and Jake, I run out the door. I start pulling it on.
I'm like, get the doors ready. I'm going to help, and I just like gabbing it because they get towards it.
With him gearing up and running out the door, now that we know this is Nick and Jake with some other people, I'm gonna relay and get me and Max to keep Doc out here and like in the central area, but we're gonna go through and close and lock every area that's not our quarantine room. So the only things that are open
is
the central room, the quarantine room,
and comms.
And comms are just a straight line through it. You can't.
It doesn't have a lock to it.
Oh, okay. Then we'd stay on that until, but would also like. I'd let Max know as soon as like these people start coming in, we close and lock that too, so that there's only this. So that worst case scenario, like these are all shut off because we don't know who they've got with them yet. And then I'll grab some of the guns we've got and head out following after Scott, just to...
Okay, so it'll take you a wee while with one arm putting your clothes on.
Yeah, because literally I'm just like, pull the pants up and over.
It'll take you even longer, but you just like, all right, Nick and Jake, go. So you run
for the shot of getting a gun out. Just absolutely gun.
So,
I can see some people struggling with it. So as long as I can even get them to maybe help them carry one of the kids or grab one of the bags.
It'll still like even at a run, it'll get like a good 20 minutes just to like.
You start. I'll say flick over to Nick and Jake's frequency. And I'm on their frequency as well.
Yeah, it'll take you like just sprinting. Still 20 minutes. That's just how far away they are, and they're still moving very slowly towards the pit traps, but very slowly.
Zombies gaining throw.
Some are, and they seem to be ones they're focusing on. There seems to be like the occasional fast zombie that just comes sprinting through the pack, but otherwise it is just shambler. So they are keeping their distance from the group. It's just that there are just so many, and by the time you meet up with the group and try and just help them along, all of them are wearing some sort of face covering, face mask, or like full gas mask or anything. Yeah. So you can't visually recognize anyone.
Yeah.
By the time you catch up with them, it's like only Nick and one other, not Jake. Jake's come back to the group, who still seems to have ammunition left over after firing at this. As you help them come close to the pit traps, okay, so by the time you've reached them, you're out the door.
Yeah, because
hang on, wait down.
I have to get out the door, and then I have to climb up the cliff face.
Yeah,
we'll go up the stairway up the cliff face to get up to near where Vedant is, and then go down the hill on the other side. So it's a bit of an ordeal.
Good 20 minutes
to get. So is that the way around?
You can go around the whole cliff. That's like moving a bit more to the south than coming up. If you want to, you can.
So that would be the most logical. Like that's the direction they're coming from.
They're coming from the northeast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're going to come up and over the hill type thing, right to where the drop off is.
Not coming through the south.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, by the time like Richard's down at the group,
go, like down to here and then like around,
and then go all the way up north.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm up there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
So Rycon, you're up the hill. You just see Richard just like merging with this group, and then you take good stock of the situation, and you just want to go full pelt down as well.
Yeah, so I've still got my spear just over my back at this point. I kind of look at Vedant down there, and I'm just like,
I've got you covered.
Good. And I'll just take off down there. Once I see how many there are, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the filter mask over my face, so I don't have like much covering my head apart from that. And
it takes you a bit slow with your lungs, takes you a little bit longer, but by the time you're down a hill, you're up the hill. All of you now do a perception check, and just flat because everyone's attention is highly focused.
97.
No.
Highly focused.
60 fair.
4 pass.
Ooh. Success rate pass.
Let's do it.
Sigil?
Spend a sigil. Let's flip those again.
And that becomes 6.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
So you both see something. Well, you both see the same thing, but without any scopes or anything else. It's very indistinct. But as the group is now across like the halfway mark towards, between that hill and your hill, you see something like a flash of light to the very south, like as far south as this valley hits. And it's just like a flash of light. It's not like, a nuke. It's not that bright. It's not like it lights up the sky. Otherwise, everyone would see it. And then that's it. You just like looking.
Just a gone.
I'm guessing you're too busy to do anything about it.
I mean, if I got to this, I'm gonna try and like get off some shots, like empty my handgun with whatever the closest ones are, and then just if someone's got like a kid or a bag and they're struggling, and then I'm just being like, Jake, Nick, where are you?
Okay, so you make it to like where Nick and like one other guy is just shooting, and then you all just like, we're all bloody out by now. And you just try and help the kids carry some bags.
Yeah.
You said I was on the top of the hill when I saw.
Yeah, you're pretty much right next to me.
So you're on the scope. There's a telescope up here as well.
Yep. Yeah.
I want to immediately spin that roughly the direction of that flash and see if I can get an idea.
Roll another perception check plus 40.
Here we go.
19
success. From as far away as, because this is like extremely far. With the telescope, you can see not like a horde, but a group of shamblers to the very south, moving upwards. And from this distance, they seem to follow the path they always follow. So it looks like, visually they'll cross the hill line, but it's, maybe a couple of dozen. You think from this distance, they all sort of seem to be not single file, but in a very close group.
Jump on walkie, which I've put to Nick and Jake frequency, so I assume like everybody can hear this. From the south, I think that convoy we were waiting for is making its way up now. We're gonna have to be quick.
Is there a considerable enough gap between the group and the shamblers to where I'm confident that there's not going to be anything dangerously close?
Unless from the shamblers,
immediately?
Yeah, like you haven't in the past few minutes, you haven't seen another fast zombie break through the horde. But with just the shamblers, you with the group, you seem to be keeping your distance there, because you can see all the shinies. Everyone's like, oh, fantastic, we're close. A bit of renewed hope.
In which case, I'm going to point my gun towards where Dan pointed out.
Okay.
He saw the convoy.
Okay.
And I'm going to look to see what's happening there through my scope.
Okay. And what are you doing?
I was still watching that direction as well.
Okay. Right. So you slowly make your way. Picking up a little bit of pace. You two plus Nick and Jake, you all shout at everyone. Trying to get them on the path. The nice little avenue through everything. And it's you're about to like crest a hill, so it's still going to take a while, but things are going well. And excruciating, like about 10 minutes later, the group from the south is close enough that they've turned just slightly for you to get a good, like, almost profile view of them. It's the Ute.
Oh, it's the Ute. Ah, okay.
And the flash of light as the headlights between the people that you can see. It's not as bright because the sun is still out.
Yeah.
But you can see them now. You can't, from your distance, see any of the unborn. But you can see those like long reindeer zombies pulling the Ute.
Undead Santa's back.
Yep. Can you spot me?
Do my best.
Yep, that'll do. If you see any unborn in that convoy, point them out. Now I'm just relying on you and spotting me. So I'm keeping my scope trained on there, and I'm going to rely on spotting me to aim, and then
how much
if there
detail can we see from this?
From this is very little. You just know, like, because
we can tell what it is.
Because you're expecting it. So I know that's supposed to be a Ute, and with the lights, it's still going to take maybe 10-20 minutes before it's and would be your range to comfortably shoot at.
Yeah.
So it's still a long wait.
Okay.
If it wasn't for the flashlight, you wouldn't have even thought of seeing it.
Okay. In which my gun's still pointed there. I'm going to look up back towards the group of people coming back, just naked eyed, just looking out that way.
Okay. Yeah. You've gone now. You're all into the pit traps, getting almost halfway through them, and like the first wave of the horde is now going, and some of them are just blindly just falling into it. You can just see from just go all the pit traps just opening up one by one.
Is there more horde coming?
It hasn't stopped.
Oh shit! It's
you are now looking at hundreds, if not thousands.
What I'm yelling out to the people, like getting down there, I'm just gonna yell, "Over the hill,
and fire!
Find your way down. There'll be people waiting." And I'm just like kind of calling it out to each person as they're kind of like making their way past that way.
Seeing this wave, I think I'll just say to V, don't take the shot unless we have to. Yep. These are the idiots that found us now, but if the smart ones are anywhere, they're in that convoy coming up.
Yep, that's why I'm going to train on the convoy.
No, but don't let them know we're here unless we absolutely have to.
Yep.
If the others are here on us before that car is...
I'll wait for you to take the shot. I'll wait for you to call it out before I take the shot.
Right, by the time you all make it up onto the hill, like most of the valley is now filled with undead, although even though they're like in front of you, they're not coming up towards you, they're moving with the flow of traffic and towards, what they last saw. So even though in front of you and even to your right, going a bit southeast, they're still coming, they're all moving towards that point where you crested the hill. And some people are just like sliding down the hill, a few of them have tripped and are rolling down the hill. By this point you can now make out, especially on the telescope, that there's things under a tarp on the flat bed of the ute.
Yep.
So you presume it's like, well, I can't see anybody anywhere else. Like the windows have been smashed in, so it's no one sitting in the driver's seat or the passenger seat. But there is like a big bundle of stuff on the flatbed.
I would probably radio through when we get up to the kind of segments of the hill to these two, and we're like, Dan, you guys are gonna have to get inside soon, otherwise this bullet's gonna overwhelm you from your back when you're looking at whatever you're looking at.
We should get down.
Yep. Okay. Pick up my gun, grab the telescope, and we go. I'm helping Dan down the stairs.
Okay. You make it in. You've now just got that quiet-ish coast to follow. Jake and Nick says keep as close to the hill as possible, so when they do crest, they don't immediately see you. Yeah. So you try to go as much as single file as possible, with you two in the lead, just making sure everyone follows where you go. The zombies do crest the hill. Some will see you, some will follow, but it's more of like like a surge of water. It just spills over and goes in all directions. By the time you go around the cats, you make it around there, you believe, far enough that by the time the last person in, there wouldn't be a zombie around the corner. So you think like you can, they will stream down south along that beach, and they will probably keep going, but you are confident that by the time you open the door and you see the last person coming out the back, you've got more than enough time to get everyone in before...
I'm waiting at the door to get everybody in. I'm waiting at the door to get everybody in, and and once the last person goes in, I'm going to close the door.
I'm just kind of trying to think at the moment.
None of the explosives are ready yet, are they?
Not in like the past few days you've had.
I'm just gonna start grabbing water and stuff for the kids and make sure to see if anyway.
I mean, like you've what like the handheld explosives?
No, just an explosive.
Yeah, I mean, like
something that will go boom if I throw it far enough.
Oh yeah, you've got things that go boom.
Is anyone injured?
There's a few people seem to have broken limbs.
Okay.
Some hobbling, some with just carrying their arm.
As these guys come past, because I'll be sort of at the front door with V, sort of keeping an eye out as they sort of flood in case they're being followed, as they come past, I'll just tell them to send everyone through to a quarantine infirmary.
Do we recognise anyone apart from Jake and Nick?
So like, but as a streamer, none of them like take out their mask. Like Nick and Jake do. They they know it's safe in here, and they take out their mask. The chaps. Everyone else will stream. So like that ward is like packed with people by the time everyone's inside. And
as soon as the last person's in, I'll kind of stop waiting and I'll slam the
you
door
two close the door, lock it.
Yep.
Maybe we can put some stuff.
Okay, now you're all right. It's you guys.
Pull back like the outside, like just
the netting,
the netting and everything.
How did these lock? Just big,
classic,
just turn handles. If we can, one just like chair, broom handle.
It's a slope coming down. So
yeah, but I mean like to
jam it
to wedge down in there, just so it's if something has the ability to try and to turn a handle to make it even harder.
You can. Yeah. I mean, you've got like enough, chains or just like industrial ties.
Zip ties.
If you want to just zip tie and like just chain stuff shut. Yeah.
And then secondary locked door closed and.
I kind of slowly walk back down towards the center. After that,
I'm gonna run over to my bench, grab something that could explode, and give it enough. If I shoot at it or something like that, and take it up to the door, and we'll put it in the middle of it.
Because it's like a lot of it, like an airlock. At the front one or the back one?
So the front,
by the entrance.
By the entrance, okay. So that if I see something open the door, like if someone forces its way in, so I'm gonna jam it under the thing. So that if it's forced open, potentially there'd be enough there to set it off. Because I'm assuming this is one of my unstable prototypes, which.
Saying close the second door as well.
Yeah, close the second door as well. Yeah, so I don't want to be the one. I can't shoot at it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put it in there as a last resort. If something manages to get through, hopefully it'll set it off, and if it doesn't, we'll take out a few. And then close the
entrance way on us.
How far along?
We figure that out after.
We'll figure that part out after.
How far along in that little project did we get with the old dicking upwards?
Not far enough.
Not far enough. You've expanded it enough that you could.
There's air.
That you could probably get the lenses and things out from a telescope, something to make a periscope. You'll have to you can't go outside to install it, but you could probably work your way with broom handles attached to each other and for the net. Yeah, it's gonna take you days.
If it caves in, that's fine because we have air in here, and we can eventually dig our way out.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a stopgap. If they do decide to bust down the door, it'll blow up and cave us.
I don't think these things are capable of doing that, judging from what we see.
How many people are in here now?
They're all cramped in that one thing. So they're all milling about, talking to each other. Some are crying in relief, some are crying in sorrow. Everyone's talking and moving. It's hard to get a good grasp, but that room is full.
Yeah. This is just in that quarantine room.
Yeah.
We're not spilling into the main area.
No.
Right.
So I guess
Jake, we need to.
Yeah.
I'm not in the quarantine room. I'm in the central chamber, sitting there, back against the wall, the entrance on the other side, gun in hand, so that if I hear an explosion, I'm going to aim at the main door.
Okay, what are you two doing?
Try and pull Nick and Jake aside, out of the space, just into the central area where we.
Okay, yeah. So they were more current on the airlock side, just to tell people, just stay in here, we'll sort things out.
Yeah,
check.
Get Maxine to kind of just check on everyone and and Max. And just pass her a handgun, like the one I was using, and just keep watch and make sure everyone's okay.
I will inform people that there is
find out what's going on
in that chamber. So we're in the entranceway. So once shit passes, if someone forgets and goes, okay, let's go check outside, be very careful because there is a unstable explosive there.
Yeah, Nick and Jake passes the message back to everyone. Yeah, so okay, you can have, so Nick and Jake perhaps pull themselves away from the big group. just tell them, just chill for a bit, we'll sort things out. And they've walked into the main room.
First of all, I go up, give them both a tight hug.
Well, I want a tight hug.
And then kind of just sit back against the desk. So what's the story? What's this?
Jake says that this is mostly people from Great Barrier that they could get back. And he does say in there is the MDC people. The last they could get, they got most of them out. They found them on the mainland on their trip back here. The old fellas, well, not the old fellas, the old ladies, they're all here. And he does, because he doesn't know you, so he does say, unfortunately, Frank didn't make it. He was taken just before they got there.
Yeah, we are.
But the rest of the people, he says a good maybe 25 or so.
I'm assuming this conversation is happening in the main central room, not in the...
Main central, yeah. And he says they're all from Great Barrier. They were fleeing, they were running away as we got there. And we managed to meet up with them.
From Great Barrier?
Fire?
Yeah. The place is on, the entire place is on fire.
Great Barrier is on fire?
Well, Jake says he guesses it's out by now, but it's gone.
What happened?
From what he says, him and Nick arrived too late. They arrived just when the blaze started, but they saw a massive fleet, like an Navy fleet, moving away. It wasn't an NZ Navy. A Navy fleet came to Great Barrier, left, and the place was on fire. The people here are all civilians. They just heard it from them. They just heard that people were coming to save them. Some foreigners, naval foreigners, came on shore.
Military ships.
Nick says Nick says he thinks one of them is like an aircraft carrier.
Son of a bitch.
And he says, that came, talked to the naval staff on Great Barrier, and they all left and set the place on fire as they left.
When you said they left, do you mean the military in Great Barrier and these guys left?
Yeah, they left all the civilians back on Great Barrier and then set their petroleum stocks on fire.
What about Aroha? She okay?
Yeah, they're in here. So Aroha and her family is there, plus anyone else from his group. There was Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, there's Hogan, who is the old engineer.
Yeah, so all their people is part of them. He says that...
Boy or girl?
Boy.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah. He says that from what Aroha and her family told him is that after the bridge, something went wrong, and I don't know what, but there was a horde attack from inside the city that attacked the bridge a couple of weeks later.
Wait, so was the bridge attacked by
a zombie horde from Auckland City Central?
No, I more mean the initial attack.
That was Great Barrier.
Huh.
Working with Eden.
Yeah, so the civilians know very little other than rumor and hearsay.
Yeah.
But it seemed that they hadn't made an alliance with Eden to cut out Eddie as the middleman. But it only lasted a couple of weeks, and then a zombie attack nearly overrun Eden on the bridge. Good. They don't know if they're still there or not.
Zombie attack overrun Eden on the bridge, or Eden
the bridge on the bridge.
Okay.
There was a horde coming up like the Auckland Harbour Bridge. They don't know what happened. Because not long after that, Rangitoto was set on fire. And they don't know who did that. But as soon as, when Rangitoto was set on fire, that was during the negotiations with the foreign navy. And as soon as Rangitoto, was on fire, they all gapped it and set Great Barrier on fire. Seems like they were scared of whatever was there and just decided to get the hell out of Dodge.
So the military on Great Barrier, did they go a different direction to most of these people we deal with now? Or
they what ships they had they put on with the fleet, with the foreign fleet. They pretty much joined the foreign fleet.
No, they do have one aircraft. No, they don't have a working aircraft carrier.
And they just left all the civilians to die.
Pretty much. Scorched earth behind them.
Yeah.
Did any of them? It doesn't matter. But did any of them see any flags, any notation of who the Navy could have been from?
They had flags, but they were just blank grey flags. They didn't have any like nationalities or anything.
Jeez. Well,
Police training, would that have told me anything about what a grey flag might mean?
Not in this sense, no.
Just in a general sense?
there was a. We thought it was a white flag, but it was a. Was it a grey flag?
What, on the bridge?
On the bridge.
No, that was a white flag. That was
a white flag.
the naval ensign.
Naval jack, yeah.
Yeah, that was the actual flag. This was just a blank, monocolored grey flags that all these ships flew.
Maybe a new ocean military base,
Union of some kind?
multi-nation, just nothing but military roving fleet.
Whoever they are, they're not friendly, that's for sure.
Yeah, well...
We're not taking the boat on anytime soon.
Yeah.
Jake does say he does not recommend it because, the Navy does have one more installation in, an operation, the Taranaki oil fields.
Yeah.
And he says, so
he's not there anymore.
He says, from what the civilians have told him, that's where they're going to swing around the north, probably head down here, down to Taranaki, and then pick up the last of the naval personnel and then bugger off.
Okay, well, if they're buggering off, then let them bugger off.
But he does say, let's probably not go out on the ocean for the next few weeks because there might be an aircraft carrier and a few destroyers.
So how did you guys get...
aircraft carrier and a few destroyers?
There was
There was a whole
Navy. Fleet.
A whole fleet.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you guys get off? Did you have...
Waterworlding.
Was there a boat that you guys got back on? Or?
They got a boat from the North Shore, Devonport area, Takapuna. They managed to get a boat from there, but by the time they got the boat, the place was already on fire. So when they got there, half the place was burnt down. They just got whatever people they could, in rubber duckies, even people on kayaks, just grabbed everyone they could, and then just some, had to swim across.
How did you end up in a bus bringing a horde here?
They went as far north as they could because the fire dragged every undead from the north towards there. So they thought that Goat Island will be free now. It wasn't. I mean, the MDC was burned down because you burned it down when you left. But when they got there, maybe head out for a few days, and when next thing they knew, the first hill they crested, there was a horde already there.
Jesus.
And unborn.
Have you...
And as they ran, Frank stayed behind to give them time to escape.
Did you guys come across the convoy of unborn with the dog sled thing?
They don't know about a dog sled,
it was a ute that they had,
It was approaching just as you got here. A ute that they've reindeer dog sledded shamblers up, and the unborn.
They've seen the convoy of the bombing line because Nick says he remembers them from last time.
Yeah, I think this is an advanced version of that.
But yeah, that troop, they saw them around, especially that light all through the night, went throughout the whole horde.
It's like if we didn't have enough to worry about.
If we're lucky, maybe they'll collect the horde and take it up north with them.
Yeah, and just hope it stays there.
And at the very least, I'd hope it should drag some of these away from here. And
I was half tempted to try and see if we could rig up the dinghy with some kind of light show, send it on out there, but I think anything that could get their attention is not good.
Despite
here's the thing.
confident not to fire, I don't think we want those unborn knowing we're here.
Yeah, Jake and Nick says,
with the dinghy and stuff is
The stupid ones will wander
if
off.
by some chance that fucking destroyer or the Navy fleet show up on this side, they're gonna see the fucking capsized thing and go, "Ooh, resources."
Yeah.
And
There's
I
not
don't
much we can do about that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
There's nothing we can do about that. I'd rather just not draw any attention to the fact that we're threat. So if we see a destroyer or a Navy fleet on the horizon, we hunker down in here and just
Let's keep an
hope
area.
like hell they don't come in.
Let's keep an area on our comms and also just stay inside for the next few days. That's for sure.
I have to go through your lot and check everybody.
We really, I think, obviously, we need to check everything. We need to do stock. We need to figure out how much we've got, how much we can make it last. staying in here because I think
make sure none of that group's infected.
Yeah.
Been bit.
Quarantine for 2 weeks.
I mean, there's a lot of people.
It's going to be uncomfortable, but it's tough. We don't have much of a choice.
Might have to give up the second bunk and quarantine in the
that's
second area.
fine. We can be smaller.
Yeah.
Thank God you guys left when you did and got there in time.
Well,
Just in time.
We might still be able to get the periscope going.
Yeah, that would be a good idea because I'd rather not go outside anymore until we absolutely have to. Having that periscope would be a really good way of keeping an eye outside.
I mean, it's going to be super basic.
Yeah,
You know?
it's literally mirrors just to see what's happening immediately outside. We're not going to be able to see long range at all, and that's not the point.
Unless that convoy scoops them up and drags them off, I don't see them leaving this area.
Yeah.
Once they've lost our scent, they'll just wander around here, wouldn't they?
Yep. Until something else comes along.
Which means that we need to wait long enough for them to be
we,
taken elsewhere because
So we've got 60
not-
people's worth of rations for how long?
for easily a year or so.
Oh.
Well, like more than a year. That
It's
place,
like living off rice and stuff, but
yeah, they wanted to stay here for years with 60 people. So with 30-ish people, you can do years.
Yeah. And so, okay, let's start with inventory of what we've got.
Yeah.
who we've got.
And who we've got. Everyone quarantines, and then we get people into their specific roles in terms of what they're good at, and actually start. A good thing of having people here is that we've got more expertise than just 6 of us.
I'm sure we can get a lot of information out of all these different people to see what led them to the cross paths.
Well, I mean, it's how we've done things before.
Yeah,
you
exactly,
know,
right.
in the past, even at the very, very start, like
Almost like an interview
we
process.
sat down
We need as much information as we can.
about the rest of the world.
We've got
This group is nothing but Great Barrier and the boat we sent off.
Pretty much.
so
Some of the
there's new faces as well, in the sense of people we haven't met before.
Well,
from Great
all
Barrier.
of them are from Great Barrier, but I mean, like some of them, Jake and Nix's, they were recent arrivals. So some have been civilians, have been there since day 0. Other ones have been here for maybe like a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did it, or what they like. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, one good thing to look at is, even if they were working together now, if Great Barrier's military have joined that convoy and are going off into some military ocean city, they're not working with Eden anymore. They've lost their military support.
Yeah.
But it also means there's no competition. It's just Eden now. There's no Edie. There's no barrier. There is just Eden.
That's
And
true.
whatever the hell
That's not a
the
fun
kids have
prospect.
going on.
That's not a fun prospect at all.
Let the kids in Eden
Fight
fight.
it out. I've got to school and settle with Eden anyway. So, I don't know. We'll deal with that if we get the opportunity.
From out of the quarantine room comes Lulu. Just to come say hello and, say thanks, for opening the doors and letting, everyone back in again, gives you two a hug. I haven't seen you in a few months.
In a few months, yeah. I'm not letting your teachings go to waste. And I point at the chemistry set. It's a long ways away, but it's what I've been able to muster up. Hopefully we can continue.
There are probably like a few chemicals that should not be next to each other
Yeah,
that
she's
are
like-
immediately next to each other.
Yeah, it's like, oh, let's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glad to see so many of you guys still kicking around.
You're definitely right about the bridge, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, can't cry over spilt milk now, she says.
Yep.
We'll just say.
Yeah. She does a.
Got Max back.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. Wow.
It looks like Jake got what he wanted as well. So
Yeah. That's, the objective left is revenge. Joking.
And living.
And that,
Survival.
yeah.
Yeah, Lulu does say that they did try to look for people, but there was nothing. They went all the way up to Cape Reinga and then went even back down on the east coast. Tried looking for anything around the coast that they could find any people still holed up. They thought at some times they did, but other people were too well hidden, and they just couldn't find them, or all there was left was undead. And she says that in the far north is almost nothing but unborn animals. During the day, can't see anything. During the night, the place just comes alive. The further north you go, the more of the unborn there are.
It's just going to get worse and worse.
They're just gathering in the north.
Yeah, she suspects because, the less populated areas, this allows them to, flourish and thrive.
Do we know what's happening down south? Has there been any sort of communication, like down South Island, Wellington, further down from there?
Lulu says that the furthest south they ever made it was back to Goat Island. But at time, when they got close to that, as they arrived around the same time as the Navy, and they tried to keep a low profile, but it didn't work, and the Navy actually shot them out of the water. Didn't even radio, didn't do anything. One shell, and there was half their boat gone.
So they've got working, functioning gunships, with the big fuck off cannons.
I mean, if they've been maintaining them ever since, they wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The amount of fuel it would take to do it, to operate that.
It sounds like they're gathering as much.
That's not a small operation. It's a fully organized, multi-country military because they have to get
It would have to be that sustainable.
If you're
Otherwise,
going just going fuel depot to fuel depot,
basically
grabbing military bases as you go.
That's what they're doing with
Eventually, you don't.
Birds.
Eventually, you've hit everywhere, and you can just stop. But
but that also means that if you want to keep replenishing your fuel supply,
Speaking of
which you would
which-
need to for running an entire fleet,
Yeah,
you would
that's
have
what- that's-
connections,
that's what she said. She thinks they're going to Taranaki.
Yeah.
Get through all there.
I'm gonna go check the comms.
Okay. Away from the plot. At the comms, roll luck plus 20.
Yeah, 29 pass.
29 pass. As you flick through the channels, mostly dead. I mean, some of the people here still have the walkie on your channel, so you're like, oh no, that's ours. You come across one channel that you haven't used before, and on the notes that was written down, it's the same channel you found that all the garbled static on, and that channel's open, and it's garbled, it is static, but it's not as bad as it was before. And you can actually make out the sounds. All this is now just heavy static, And what it is the sound of zombies. You just hear moans and groans through it. Just the unending, and you hear chains clanking. You hear something drag through the ground, and that's
I would have backed up from the comms and had a freak out for a second when I heard that.
Just thinking it was static for a long time.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
nah, it's not static.
It's
It's just a whole heap of voices.
Yeah. Do you want to respond?
that's the Great Barrier. That's the one we heard the call for help coming from.
Yeah.
It's clearer.
Nah, I would respond. I just go tell these guys.
Okay. As you hear that, so Richard comes and tells everyone about this, and at this, and you've told Lulu and Jake about what happened to Frank, and they do tell you that Frank did have a walkie, and it was battered to crap. Even Lulu's one that she was trying to talk to just outside was almost completely broken, but Frank's one was, it was really lost in the water when they got shot out, so they thought it was working, but clearly not. And he was the one trying to call for help. So it might be Frank's walkie that's currently on.
Right.
I guess that will run out of batteries.
Look, for now, that's a good warning system for us until it runs out. As long as it starts to go more staticky, it means that they're moving on outside. If it stays strong for a long time, it means we're in trouble. But we can maybe learn something from listening to that.
Yeah. As long as it lasts. Yeah. If it's constantly on like that, it probably won't last more than a week or something. Surely.
Or more than a day.
Yeah, really, yeah.
I mean, I was just making a guess. That wouldn't really
Yeah.
say at the most,
These things are congregating in new areas. That's kind of what you said right there.
That's what Lulu suspects.
It's away from people.
Yeah. Is there a possibility further down the line if this place isn't as safe one, it's by the coast, so if that fucking Navy shows up, we're fucked. Second, there is an entire horde of zombies going through. What if down the road we were to venture down south to a more urbanized area? Not Auckland, because fuck that, Eden's gonna be around. Further south, Rotorua.
Maybe.
Something of that sort.
Those will still be filled with everyone that was there during the outbreak, unless they've migrated north. But
Well, Jake and Nick have been go to the and there was nothing. But we could, I mean...
Yeah.
But nothing's okay sometimes.
Good. Nothing's better.
Yeah, I totally agree. I just mean, like, we don't know anything for sure. It's quite hard to avoid going through Auckland. It's possible, but...
It'll be a long journey.
Yeah. But we've got a lot of people now. We need to... But I do agree that it is a bit sketchy how close we are to this big shipwrecked thing.
Yep. Because that's the thing. As soon as...
We're also hiding in plain sight, though, as well.
Yeah,
exactly.
that's what I mean, yeah.
If we didn't have those markers to follow, we would not have found this place. The only way that someone would find it now is by us making some kind of mistake, or someone just stumbling into it, like literally stumbling into it.
The biggest marker to this place is, the fucking capsized boat, right? If someone comes looking for resource there, they go in and go, well, this thing has been picked more or less clean.
no reason to suspect it's people
someone
right
close
there on
by.
the beach.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
But
The
still,
biggest
it's too close to
problem you have to deal with, not right now, but eventually, we have a bus outside, out back, and there are a whole heap of bodies in those traps.
Yep. And the netting on the side, it's not rendering us invisible. If someone gets close enough to the freaking boat, they will see it.
Let's just keep listening to it.
No, well, to be fair, from even the coast, you couldn't see it.
No.
Oh, you couldn't?
No, we had
Even
to get
when
like,
you're
right up to
I mean, we are underground.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's
Like the netting is they did a really good
we're
job.
built into
It's still a hill.
Yeah, we're built into like
fair
a
enough,
cliff
then.
face hill thing.
Okay, so netting's more to hide the staircase, and
Yeah. Let's just
I think we get our stuff
sure
out of the
everyone's
other
okay.
bunk, and then we can move people a couple at a time to the other room as we check everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then once everybody's been checked, we can sort of balance everybody out and get some space and work out what the hell we're going to go from there.
I mean, Lulu, you've been around some of these people at least for a little while. We've got another doctor here.
well, kind of.
Well,
Doctor in quotes, sort of in the corner.
Doctor here.
Yeah. Enjoying a martini.
Yeah, I imagine he's probably just like passed out, like
He's a
drink in hand.
Yeah,
type
so
thing.
Max would tell you as soon as shit went down, he was just like everything in distill.
Yeah,
So he's still conscious, but he's like
kind of dozing in the corner.
alcohol poisoning slowly taking hold.
I was gonna say maybe you and him could check over everyone, make sure there's no bites, no scratches.
Yeah. Realistically, we don't want to need a doctor, but I just don't like him.
But yeah, she says she's happy to look at and the short time they've all been together, she hasn't seen anything. But I mean, between everyone here, she doesn't believe there will be any resistance to the idea. I mean, like most of them came from a military era where they were used to being ordered around, and they know about these sort of things. So she doesn't expect any resistance from just being asked. Go into the room, strip down, let's have a look.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and that takes most of the night, sorting out who goes. They try to say in friend groups or family groups. One bunk there is, Ottawa, her family, and everyone that Jake and Nick came with, plus all the Goat Island people, and that's almost half of everyone. And then the other one's like mainly the core Great Island people.
What happened to Jen?
She's there. She is there.
Okay, yeah, sweet. Okay.
There's only like the new people that was only for a few weeks. The Great Barrier went with Ottawa and Lulu and people. So it's like sort of like Ghost Island and Rotorua on one, and Great Barrier core and the other one. And we're all mostly happy to just like give out what supplies and food they have. It's a fair amount of hand weapons, some ammunition and firearms. Although, like the ammunition you can count on one hand, and that's like, oh crap, I still have a bullet left. They all were carrying enough food for all of them, enough water, first aid kits.
I will take inventory of it all.
Yeah.
And because I'm sure we had a running list of inventory, which I will start adding to, like trying to follow whatever system Dan and Max have set up.
Yeah. And a lot of them, for like dinner, most of them just eat their own food, rather than having to cook for everyone. Does anyone keep on the comms?
Yeah, now I get out.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess I'd be helping out.
Well, I think the thing as well is that we'd definitely be checking that frequency to see if it's getting stronger or weaker. If it's staying.
Have not heard an explosion from the thing yet. Cool. So if it like a good 5-6 hours pass and that doesn't go off.
Yeah. Leave it. I'd say leave it overnight.
Yeah.
Just don't even touch those front doors.
Yeah.
For now.
So what I'm doing is I'm sort of getting up to where the front door is and trying to listen out to see if I hear anything moving outside.
You hear footsteps. They don't seem to be too close, but I mean, if you can hear them, they're close enough.
Yeah.
So you hear maybe you guess 4 or 5. Mm-hmm. That's within proximity of the entrance.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, I'll leave it there overnight, and then next morning, if nothing crazy happens, I'm gonna go collect my local explicitly.
After dinner on the comms at that frequency, the static is still heavily static. Still a garble, but it is much more clearer now that you can hear breathing on the other end. You can hear movement of just people, being, moving around within an enclosed area. After a while, at which, you have a look at the clock, you're like, okay, you're pretty sure the sun is set. Much more noise comes out of the radio, and you hear a whole lot of kids' voices.
Like voices.
Voices. Saying
What they're saying?
all sorts of things, in what seems to be quite a few languages.
Wow. And is it like fluid conversation? Or
No, so it's very stilted, very halted, you hear like one kid just going on about Suzuki's. He just seems to love the word Suzuki.
Does it... I mean, I assume you read that at some point, but does it sound mimicky, like it's a whole bunch of sound bites?
It sounds like, rather than sound bites mimicry, it sounds like words that they're putting together, in the wrong order for the wrong things. So the cadence of things would change. Even if you hear the same word twice, it wouldn't be the same way the words are being said. It's just, they would still say Suzuki, but they'd go, oh, Suzuki. They would just, the words would change with the cadence of what is contextual on the other side of the radio.
Confirmed. We unboard a Pokemon.
And this is the Suzuki Pokemon.
Yeah.
Suzukimon.
Yeah, that's definitely very terrifying. Does this sound like an actual child's voice kind of thing?
Yeah, so it sounds like you could imagine this to be a 3-year-old, 4-year-old talking on the other end.
How many does it sound like a group?
You pretty sure within range of the walkie you can hear maybe 4 or 5, but they fade in and out as what you expect to be the distance coming from. It sounds like one of the children is holding the walkie. And as that child is going around, that's how the sound's coming out. Sometimes you hear the moaning of the walkers more, sometimes the clinking of the chains, other times you hear metal being dragged across rock, which you presume to be the exposed wheels of the ute. Other times you just hear like an ungodly scream, which sounds very much like the living zombies, screaming their throats raw. So it's quite a lot of sounds. Sorry about this.
Jeepers.
Like a lot of sound.
We're all on edge. Yikes.
Sorry, I should have put that on silent.
Good for the tension.
Yep.
We hear someone's phone ringing over the RT. Shit.
Hello.
One of them had a satellite phone. Damn.
One specific piece of mimicry, like I'm guessing, like as this keeps going, you would all like congregate, and holy shit, guys, you really gotta hear this.
This is science. This is us all listening to
you. All the core group.
We can share we may have already talked about it, but like the time when we were out in the forest and them mimicking the Russians.
Yeah.
And talking about how seem to at least, whether they know the words or not, they
what you hear, like after a while, the other songs seem to fade away, and then it's just what seems to be one zombie's moans and clicking, and then just the child holding itself as if it's like right next to the zombie, and there aren't any of the other children around. And in a sing-song voice, it says, oh dear God, please come help me now. Oh dear God, they're coming for me now. Click clack.
Oh, good God.
Which you recognize exactly the words that you heard the other night.
Yeah. That's terrifying.
So all of your roll will.
Yeah, because it's like Frank's voice too. That's why.
And the child does it for like a good 5 minutes, the same song.
I'm gonna use the sigil because that was.
I'm gonna use sigil too. Holy shit!
I rolled a 92. What did you roll?
99.
Oh yeah, that's sigil really.
43 success.
18.
Oh, 16 success.
41 fail.
How much over?
11. Benefit of having
Okay,
done
minor,
stupid
so-
crap before.
I've got 3 minor wounds over this whole chapter.
Yeah, it's okay. Like you refresh after each encounter.
Yeah.
Okay, nothing
Yeah,
too bad.
that would genuinely really freak me out.
Yeah.
So then I'd definitely talk about, it seems like they can repeat words and have meaning behind them, but they don't know, doesn't sound like they know the meaning of the words themselves. They just...
It sounds like they're going to formulate their own language with what they have anyway. Because, no matter what the signifiers and semiotics we have for
sure they can understand each other.
Yeah, it will naturally, organically turn into whatever they use as emphasis on things too. Just like other animals do through sound and pitch.
Or just like a baby. How a baby mimics their parents. That's how they learn to speak.
Does anybody want to respond?
Fuck no.
No,
Does
Does anybody go?
I'd be tempted to be like, fuck you, but I wouldn't.
Is there any kind of familiar tune to the pattern of the song?
Yeah, I mean, I am copying an exact song, so it's a song from a children's TV show. If you watch Peppa Pig, you would have gotten that.
Sorry, Dad, we missed that one.
Yeah. My daughter loves Peppa Pig.
Yeah.
So it is, but
Something so innocent and something so terrifying.
but it does
Now
definitely
it's got-
sound like, even if you don't know Peppa Pig, it does definitely sounds like like an actual song that the child must have heard that tune somewhere.
Yeah. Just put words that aren't the right.
Yeah.
Having heard it for like a good 5 minutes, I would get stuck in my head. And I didn't. Yeah.
Like in the middle of the night, you just started singing, "Oh, dear God."
No.
Everyone's like, "Ah!"
No, it's sort of more just sort of humming it.
The tune, not the words.
Yeah, the tune, not the words.
If you start with the words, I will hit you.
Yeah, no.
I'll just
the tune. It's just me whistling the tune or whatever.
start taking off the gambits
Damn,
and
it's stuck in my
stuff.
head.
Oh, I presume you would have taken it off like ages ago if you wanted
Oh,
to.
no, yeah, no. I was still ready, but like, and now I'm like, yeah, no, we are not going anywhere. But I will say, we still need to know if it gets fainter. So, and someone's happy to listen. That's great.
Yeah, I think I need a bit of a break from that. I'm not feeling so hot.
I'm gonna take over for now.
I'll keep listening. It's
Good.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go hang up the gambison and I'll just.
I'll keep listening to it.
Okay. It's okay, so it's getting, it's after dinner already. Everyone's already tired from a day.
Shit.
Okay, so you'll turn in the main
I would
area.
recommend that, we set up camp in the center and then we can receive.
I'm gonna have a little bit to drink, otherwise I'm not gonna be able to sleep.
Okay, so everyone.
probably keep a rotation
does
watch
the
as
radio
well.
have like a...
Yeah, they did come with headphones.
So eventually once it starts freaking people out, I'll
Yeah.
plug in the thing and put it on and actually...
Yeah, I mean, like after a while, it seems the kid does get bored of it, and
But I
goes
still
on.
hear the same kid throughout. So
Yeah, it seemed like
seems
one
it's-
kid is holding it. Eventually, you hear other kids come and go, other sounds.
Did the zombie sound next to it stay the same while he was singing as well?
Yeah,
Like the kid standing next to Frank mocking him, potentially, or
you can presume that. Whether it's true, or whether that's the kid's intention.
I mean, might not be mocking, could just be singing to him, like, "Hey, here's your words." It definitely sound like like it was standing next to one specific
Yes.
zombie for the whole time it was singing those words.
Yes.
I'm gonna sleep sitting up tonight, just with my back against the container door leading to the outside,
Okay.
just so that no one decides to leave in the middle of the night.
Blow you all up.
Move the explosives away from the
Well,
door.
the explosives
It's on the entrance.
Because there's like double doors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah. This is the one closer in because if they didn't mention hearing footsteps outside, I'd be like, no one goes in that hall. We can't have like any noise at all, not a sneeze. You know, we have to be very, very quiet.
So eventually,
Spear in
For the
hand.
next couple of days,
sit
while
down.
while people are in quarantine and stuff, I would say, we all sleep out here and at least keep one person awake, just while we get to know these people and they're in quarantine and stuff, just to make sure.
Well,
And
it
all the
takes
other
one
rooms
person
stay
to fuck
closed.
up, so
Yeah.
I'd like to have a talk to them all tomorrow morning anyway.
Yeah, we'll just do it from Lulu mostly, because then people will be a bit more, like calm about it. I'm sure, she's got that kind of, motherly kind of energy. So
Maybe.
yeah.
okay. So as everyone kips down, the only light comes in through the small container corridor to the comms unit.
Is there a point where everyone is asleep and out of earshot of people?
Yeah.
That's
Everyone is like, you can hear everyone's like gone a few hours later.
I'm going to reply to the.
Okay, what do you say?
I'm going to use the same tune, and the words that I'm going to use is I'm a kid, I'm a creepy kid, and just repeat that a couple of times and turn it off, and stop broadcasting to it.
Okay, but do you keep listening?
Yeah, but I keep listening.
Okay. As you start, the kid stops,
Yeah.
and you hear as you keep going, all the other kids stop.
Yep.
Noises stop as well. And then once you stop, you just hear a voice going, "Are you still there? Are you still there?"
I'll wait for a while. I might be.
Good night.
Night night.
Nothing.
Yep.
But then after nothing response, then it just keeps being after a slow while it just picks up the general ambiance of the kids chatter and talking.
Trying to see if I can actually teach them words. See how quickly they. My idea here is to try and understand how quickly they learn.
After are you staying up all night?
As to the point where I get tired enough to go to sleep.
Okay, so maybe an hour or so passes, and then you don't hear the words in the sing-song voice, but you do hear the words, "I'm a kid, I'm a kid, I'm a kid, I'm a Suzuki, I'm a kid."
Okay, cool.
You know?
Suzuki.
Yeah. So that's so you hear it being said full, and you hear it being spread out with other words taking on and the cadence changing as well.
Okay.
One voice or many?
Many voices. As one starts, others pick it up.
Okay.
And with that creepiness is where we'll end off this chapter.
Oh boy. Well, we've got a whole new load of people in here with us. We're blind to the outside world, yet it sounds like there are others still among us. The surface is dangerous,
Yep.
but there might still be dangers here.
We're going to become mole people.
So, please do join us next week for the start of a whole new chapter, our last chapter in this season. So, strap yourselves in. It's sure to be Suzuki.
Yes.
For now, I have been Rycon. We have been your survivors. You have all been awesome. And until next time.